Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening. This is our 8th annual Father's Week, sponsored by Young Fathers of Central Florida. How many of you are familiar with the organization? Okay, how many? Who's not familiar? Okay, so you'll get an opportunity to learn a little tonight. Young Fathers of Central Florida is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. I started in 2006 here in Orlando, Florida. Our primary focus is young fathers and their families. Presently, we have 7 programs. We have a dad-to-dad mentoring program where we match an older father with a younger father for a 1-year commitment. We have our Teen Fatherhood Academy program, which is a 6-month, 6-module program designed for fathers ages of 14 to 19. Walt Disney sponsors that program. And those 6 modules is evidence-based outcome program. So before a father can go to the next level, the next module, he has to pass, or he has to complete requirements for the first module. For example, the first module might be he needs to have a driver's license. He needs to have a library card. He needs to have a child support order. And he needs to have a visitation order. Because our fathers are required to have, in this program, those documents. Because we want our fathers not to see their children when they want to, but have a scheduled time for them to see them on a consistent basis. Because consistency with children, we all know, is very, very important. So that's our Teen Fatherhood Academy. Then we have our father support groups. We have father support groups throughout the state of Florida. Unfortunately, we are the only 501c3 Teen Fatherhood program in the state of Florida. We're actually the only 501c3 independent teen and young fatherhood program in the United States of America. This is why we sponsor each year our National Teen and Young Fatherhood Conference here in Orlando, Florida. Our last conference, we had up to, I think it was 26 cities represented at this particular conference. And then we have our parent training program where we provide training to our fathers. Years ago, we only did training for our young fathers, but now we allow young mothers to come in as well because we find that young people sometimes can be young and young, the boys and the girls. So they have children that have no idea what they're doing. And African Americans having the highest mortality rate in this country, I think plays a part with a lot of our young parents not knowing how to parent and not knowing how to raise their children. We just recently started the Father Institute at the Dole Cooper University. We'll be moving in August over to Embry-Riddle University. I was a keynote speaker at their Martin Luther King event, and I asked about 30 guys how many were dads, and 8 raised their hand. And there wasn't one African American that raised his hand. So they were kind of shocked at Embry-Riddle that these young men had children. And it goes to show we have white kids, black kids, Hispanic, Asian. I remember the first Asian that came to our program, all the guys looked at, what are you doing here? We have a child. And we have no direction and nowhere to go, no support system. Then we have our Young Father Initiative with the City of Orlando. We just started that a year and a half ago. And we're going to continue starting in August. We were at Northwest Community Center, that's where the base was. But we're thinking about moving that, maybe Joe's facility, this facility here. How long have you been working with you guys?
Here, you've been working for, I believe it's been about 6 years? 6 years. About 6 years?
Yeah, right here in the community, people would ask, why are you going down to Paramount? When I arrived from New York, I said, what's the 2 rough today because of that? They said, Paramount, yes. So I set up shop in both. Maybe here. So did I miss a program? That was 7, right? So those are the programs. No, I did miss one. I missed our Just the Gentleman program. our Just the Gentleman program we had here with Joe a couple cycles, and that's for that's a character and etiquette development program for the 9 to 13-year-old boys. So we have a 9 to 13-year-old before they become fathers. 14 and 19-year-old, and then up to 24. So that's our cutoff. We do speak to older fathers, but we let them know that our focus is younger fathers, because they're the ones that are continually having babies, continually getting girls pregnant, and they're the least equipped to deal with parenting. 15, 16, 17. Some of you know that we had a 12-year-old a few months back, 12-year-old father, 12-year-old mother. And they weren't even from here, they were from Melbourne. They called me from Melbourne. They were fighting because the boy's mother wanted to raise the child and the girl's mother didn't want to put the child for adoption. These are 12 years old. Come to find out the girl's getting raped since 9. So we get calls from all over the state, as I mentioned before, because we're the only teen young father program to work with. So that's Young Fathers of Central Florida. As we go around the room, there's several people that have been with us. We have our board chair, Ruben Grant, is here, and Glenn Brown, he's Mr. Young Father of Central Florida. He's been with me for a long time. And my son's been working with me, Josh, since he was little. He was a little boy, doing little odds and ends jobs. So the way, we like to start this program off with everyone in the room telling us who they are, why they're here. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. My team knows that they say I'll blow them up every time we do events, because there's people that's within our midst that are talented, that are doing good work, but they might not have the support. I have my nephew here from Atlanta, Georgia. He and his wife, they'll introduce themselves. We got brother Carl Rowe here. He's a colleague of mine on the national level. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. They both came for this particular meeting here. So we're going to start over here with Ruben, and we can go around the table. And actually, we'll start with Roy, and we'll go around this way. Yeah, we'll do that. So you don't have to tell us a whole bunch about yourself, but whatever you're comfortable with. The reason of this roundtable, one of our goals is to see who's doing what in the community as it relates to black male achievement, responsible fatherhood, who's interested in working in those areas, what it is you do, and how we can help you. The theme of this meeting is commitment. I think in order for us to be successful, we have to make a commitment to our young men and our young boys, and a commitment to organizations that are trying to help them. Because we were talking about that earlier, how a lot of organizations can't go from point A to point B because they have no guidance, they have no one to help them to get to those levels. And we have to commit, we have to make some commitment. Our time, even our money. I've asked numerous people, have you ever given any money to any organization that works with young black boys and men? I ask them that question point blank. And I tell people, if you give $5 a month, you give $10 a month, whatever you can give to help an organization, because a lot of people don't care how that we move forward at all. It's almost like I talk to some people, man, you still working with those little bad boys? Dang, I wish you just leave that alone. Let them kill themselves, let them be irresponsible. That's the feeling that I get often, and it's not a comfortable one to have. So let's start here with Roy, and just tell us a little bit about yourself, why you're here, and what it is you do.
All right, thank you. My name is Roy Howard. My wife comes from home. Came from Atlanta, Georgia. The reason why I came out is because I'm trying to start my own program. I've been working with youth for a while. I want to try to get something started. Program called Single Father. It's hard to see the I've been a single father for a while. I got married about 3 years ago. And it's a difficult task. $63,000. I was just like, wow, I couldn't believe that number. And I'm saying to myself, how do I make that up now? So this is my way of doing that to the young people. Just to show them, no matter what you're going through, you're going to face what you have. It's never give up. Just keep doing it. I'm married now. I've been working for the past 10 years. Same company. I'm trying to get somebody to talk. Here's the story.
Tell us what you think about. Everyone talking to him tonight, so don't be you talking to him. Tell us how you feel about what he's doing and what he said. Tell us how you feel about that.
Okay, I'm trying to talk about getting at DT. It was just that we have a complicated situation like that, or whatever. We just in the situation, in the moment, I feel that, like he handled it responsibly. And he did well with it, over now, and we're glad about that. But, it was different. Because like I said, I had never experienced anything like that before. Not to think out some more, because I don't have kids of my own, So, but.
Now that's a strong woman right there, right? That's a strong woman. And oftentimes we do have to talk about that. We have to talk about the guy who has child support responsibility, and then they have a new girlfriend, and if they want to marry him, that dynamic is very, very important. Because sometimes the woman encourages the young man not to pay child support. Don't be paying that girl this and that, blah, blah, blah. You should be. So, you just got to be thinking about a whole other program. Because, we deal a lot with co-parenting, and that's very, very important. But your situation, that's kind of rare, where this young man has all this money to pay child support. That's $500 that you got yet. So, but thank you for that.
Hi, my name is Victoria Bronze. I work as a prosecutor in Marion County, and I'm here because I was invited by one of the panel speakers.
I'm Amir Rashid, and I'm a part of the Fatherhood Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I was invited by Julie Grant, and I'm a professional individual consultant here in the Orlando community. So I heard about the program and fathers in Central Florida. I recently became a father back in November 2nd, 2014. So right now I have a girlfriend, right? We're not married, and so there are certain things that are important to me. So I just want to get a little bit more information on that. We'll see what type of initiatives you guys have going. So that's that.
Good evening. My name is Trinice Mosley, and I came because I have two friends on the panel. Professionally, I am an HR consultant for a local consulting firm. But personally, I am a single parent, and I'm proud of teenage parents. So here to learn more about the organization and possibly how I
How you doing? My name is Joseph Caesar. I am the facility manager here at the Callahan Neighborhood Center. I've worked in this community for the past 6 years, partnered a lot with Mr. Hockey. Also, he spoke about the City of Orlando's Black Male Initiative. We are working tirelessly on facilities, sponsoring young males in this community to try to make a difference. So I'm just excited. I love this week. We do this every year. I'm excited for all you guys to get as much information as you guys can to benefit your organization.
Joe is a new father.
And I am a new father.
Good evening, I'm Dennis C. Gardner from Georgia, a retired military person. And I'm here because I was invited by Mr. Childs.
Good evening, my name is Laverne Childs, and it's my son, this is my husband. We are here in support of my son. I'm not sure exactly, everything that it entails, but I'm here to learn. Same for you.
Yeah. Say my name is Layla.
My name is Layla.
And that's my dad.
Hi, my name is Robin Parks, and I'm here in support of my son, Laverne.
Good evening, I'm Monica May, and just a friend of 3 of the panelists this evening. Brian, I'm so glad to see you and family supporting him, and just excited that Hakeem has done this along with this whole board for 8 years. That's phenomenal in itself, that it grows and that it gets support from our community. So just happy to be here to support you.
Let's the gentleman that just came in. Yes, we want to know who you are and what is it that you do.
There's always a disadvantage of showing up any place late. However, I must say that my lateness is not because I didn't think this was important, but I'm a clinical psychologist and I just finished my 5 o'clock appointment at 6 and had related my business to get here by any means necessary. My name is John Robertson, and I'm again, clinical psychologist. I've been practicing for 30-some odd years, and I'm still a protege of Hakeem and Kruger.
Good evening, my name is Ruben Grant, and I am the board chairman for Young Fathers of Central Florida. Been working with Hakeem since the beginning, and just an absolute pleasure working with the organization, seeing its growth, and glad to see so many faces here tonight. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Glenn Brown. I'm not in the fatherhood field, but I met Hakeem maybe 7 or 8 years ago. Actually had a data processing, and he was very passionate about the organization, and I'm passionate about helping and serving the community. I actually grew up in Philadelphia in a community very much like Pine Hills and Paramore, and I know the challenges. I'm one of 7 boys, so I know the challenges of being teen fathers. I wasn't a teen dad, but I know some of the challenges, so I'm just a humble servant, so I've been here to help out for the last 7 or 8 years, and I'm just hoping to continue to grow strong. Thanks everyone for coming.
Good evening, my name is Wilbur Gann. I'm representing Orange County Corrections Department. Chief Cornelia Riley is our Chief of Corrections. Hakeem and this man right here, Mr. Scott, we've been talking about this for maybe 3 or 4 years, bringing something out to the jail to that population I've been serving. Currently, right now, we have over 2,800 people in corrections right now. And of that 2,800 people, 1,700 look like you and me. So what we're trying to do is what they call re-entry. Give people the resources that they need to make their lives better when they come. Now, we have a small juvenile population, but when they turn 18, they are housed with the adult males. So I wish we can develop a program that not only can serve those who are less than 18, but those who are older, maybe that 18 to 21 age group. Because once we did a survey of our young population, there was only a few, right, Ron? It was only 2. So if we're going to spend some resources, let's spend them to that population that maybe still we can get to them as well.
Okay. We're looking forward to it. It's like me Mike was talking, he said, man, we ready to lock it low. Because we've been talking about it, so let's just make it happen.
But not that you got something to do.
Got you.
And I understand you already talking to Chief.
Good evening. Well, I think the most important thing I'm going to say is shout out to West Orange High School. I see 3 of my classmates and friends here, and it's important to know that when you do things as a youth, we grow together. And I know from conversations and Facebook posts and different meetings that we all share the same mindset, is that making our community better. My name is Michael Scott. I'm a mentor. I've been doing it for about 11 years. Hakeem adopted me maybe about 4 years ago. And even before Hakeem, for those that mentor, you know that if you're a father or not,
your job of parenting and raising is not just going to be your child. More importantly, it's going to be raising those children around your child, because those are going to be the influences, either positive or negative, that's going to dictate how successful or unsuccessful they are in one or more areas. So I'm here to support Hakeem. I didn't know I was going to be supporting Mr. Allen and Mr. Childs, but you know, it's good to be around like-minded people, and I'm absolutely happy to be here.
Good evening. Shout out to West Point High School. I'm sure I walked a hall a lot earlier than you did. My name is Michael Johnson. I am representing Chi Tau Chapter Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. We are looking to become more and more involved in both youth mentoring and specifically this father organization. We had a program about 4 years ago at Disney Boys and Girls Club. When I was growing up in Pine Hills, it was called Pine Hills Boys and Girls Club. We partnered with Macedonian Missionary Baptist Church with their NEED program. Once the grant ended, we kind of disbanded, so we're kind of looking for a landing spot now, and there are tons of programs out there, but I'm very interested in this one with Dr. Berlacki, and we want to be more involved.
Good evening, my name is Dr. Barber. I'm a district mental health counselor at Morse Schools, and I also have a private practice in licensed mental health counselor. It was last year when I met Hakeem, and he was doing some real good recruiting. Unfortunately, at that time, there was some health issues with my son, but he's now in remission, and I'm ready to go. So I have 35 schools, a couple of middle schools and high schools. I've one without these schools. Going started this year, this couldn't sustain due to that issue. I'm just looking forward to hearing that.
Glad to hear about this, son.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chester Glover. I'm a congressional caseworker in the office of Congresswoman Curly Brown. Known Hakeem since he came to Orlando. As a caseworker, we do get pretty regularly calls from fathers about the child support issues that they're having, and a good majority of the time I'm able to send them to in Hakeem's direction for assistance and guidance. And I'm here this evening because I always like to be able to support Hakeem in the things that he does.
Chester was one of the first people I met, period. I came from New York, and I remember going to his office, and he said, well, what makes you think we need that here? I popped in that videotape of all the things I did in New York. Chester said, okay, I think I know what you're doing. But yeah, he was one of the first guys. He introduced me to people to help me, move forward and get to know a few more people. So Chester pop in, pop in, but he gonna pop in.
All right, my name is Rick Jennings. I'm from the city, down the southern end of the strip. My organization is My Father Cares. And what I do, I run a clinical aspect of the Fatherhood program of drug and alcohol recovery. Because as you know, a lot of young men who are locked up and a lot of young men who fall into our category and our groups also have substance abuse problem situation. And what I provide is a catch service, a catch-all service. There's a lot of us here, we all need to work. But sometimes a guy falls out of the system and needs somebody to catch him, put him on the right direction, give him a resource or a name. Maybe help him do the job. And that's what I do. Again, it's all part of the Fatherhood program, male involvement network. We are here for the brothers.
All right, good evening. My name is Brian Childs. I work for the Early Learning Coalition of Orange County, and my area is actually here in Fairborn. I'm charged with trying to help make sure that children are reading or have the tools, I should say, to read at grade level by the third grade. Apart from I do with Early Learning Coalition of Orange County, I'm also a father. I have a 1, 2, and 3-year-old. And when I have my children, it really, I can say that's the best job that I've ever had. And there's a lot of information I have, what I do with Early Learning Coalition, and what my background is education. So there's a lot of information that I have. I decided that I want to try and share it with parents and with fathers. So I created a website called Ask a Daddy. So on my website, you know, I share some information that I know, some of the things that I experience, you know, give some real life examples, as well as steps and tools that, you know, fathers can use in their own lives with their families.
Yeah, I just met Brian recently, and a couple people gave me his name, and those particular people are a few people who I listen to take a name, because I don't have time to waste. They know I don't waste my time. So don't be sending me someone that's not about that life, as they say. And Brian was right on it right away, and that's what I do. And a lot of my colleagues, they say, why you know, trying to get all these people together? I just, wow. What, we just supposed to stay apart and just kill each other? Some people want us to do that, but those that know me know if I see a positive influence, a positive person, I'm going to try to bring them in as quickly as I can, because when you're dealing with children, we don't have much time to waste. We don't have time to waste, so it's a pleasure meeting you, brother.
Good evening, family. My name is Carl Willis. Bringing greetings from Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County Board of Commissioners, and the Fulton County Call to Manhood Teen Dash program, where we work with young men 13 to 19 years of age who have a child or a child on the way. Most of these young men are already in touch with the criminal justice system, so we work to provide interventions in employment, education, and re-entry. And I'm here with Brother Hakeem because he invites me to everything that he's ever put on, and I'm always glad to be a part, so that's why I'm here.
Good evening, everybody. I'm DeHero Allen, and I am a product of this community right here. In fact, there was a time when my family lived in the Paramore Village Projects, which no longer exists. Also, growing up here at the Callahan Center, we used to go to the YMCA Black Achiever meetings. And so I currently work as a family attorney. I've been doing that for the past 4 years. So a lot of my work goes into advising young men and older men what their rights are as fathers. And a lot of my community work goes into serving on the board of the YMCA. Now they call it the Teen Achievers. It used to be the Black Achievers. But we have a fellow board member here, Monica May. So a lot of my community work goes into that. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Crystal Armstrong, and I'm a volunteer with Young Fathers of Central Florida. I do behind-the-scenes stuff, so no, I'm not in front with the young men, but I work on curriculum as well as funding and just a jack of all trades. So when Hockey calls me, I just do whatever he asks me to do. And just thankful to be here for this roundtable, and also for the many people that have volunteered with the organization, and look forward to volunteering with the organization.
Hold on, give it like that. What else do you do?
I'm an educator.
Yep, you're a teacher. How many years?
I'm an educator for 18 years in Orange County Public Schools, with a background in special education, ESOL, career and technical education.
What else you do?
No, I'm a parent of two.
No, you know what I'm talking about. She writes grants, people. And they always, that's telling you, they got talents. I let Ruben and Glenn get away this time. But they have talents, but see, we need to know what, I want all of you to talk longer, because I know some of you got some stuff that you do. Let's say one of you a mechanic, and someone needs their car fixed. There you go. What is that? Brother Hakeem, what's that brother that said he was a mechanic? If one of you do anything in here, any skills you have, we need to share that with one another. That's what we do in our father support groups. Every guy, tell me what it is you get paid to do, tell me what you don't get paid to do, tell me what you like to do. And somewhere in there, there's going to be something that one of us can use. How many of you sell real estate? How many of you sell real estate? Glenn? Right? How many of you do accounting? See? That's all I'm saying. And my team know I'm calling them out. Because if you see all the skills that they have, and it's a way to make some extra money too. You know, we can either barter, like some of our fatherhood groups do. Somebody's a plumber. He might work for a company, but on the side, he can come fix up, sink or something. That's how I think with all the things that I do. It has to be a collective effort. That's why the thing is commitment. Us committing ourselves to our young boys and men and the organizations that serve them. Okay? As I mentioned, guys that I used to go golfing with, wonder why I don't want to golf with them anymore. Well, that takes 4 hours for 9 holes. Or some people would take quite some time. Well, a couple hours for 9 holes, 4 hours for 18. Some guys take 5 hours for 18. I'm not interested in golfing with anyone that can't mentor a young boy for 4 hours a month. They don't be able to play 4 hours of golf with them. And then, some of the ones that want to go to the clubhouse, and that's another hour. If you can't commit 4 hours a month mentoring a young boy, volunteer for organizations that work with young boys and men, I ain't got no time for you. Why? Why am I wasting my time playing golf with you and you can't even commit that? So I'm still cool with them, but I just don't have much time for them. Because as I said, what we do is urgent. What we do is urgent. I'm going to pose a question to the panel. What do you think is the biggest obstacle in the work that you do? What do you think is the biggest obstacle in the work that you do? Yeah, go ahead. Financial support. I think we all going to say that, so let's skip financial support. I think we all going to say that, but we're going to come back around to that. But besides financial support. Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. Like I said, so what I do is, in the community of Paramore, I try to help make sure that kids have the tools that they need in order to be on grade level by 3rd grade. 3rd grade is a critical point because that's when kids go from learning to read to when they get to 4th grade, they're starting to read to learn. So it's very important that they read on grade level by 3rd grade. I would say one of the biggest obstacles that I deal with, and again, I think it's getting better and we're working on it, but I think one of the biggest obstacles that I deal with is trying to help people understand, parents understand, that education starts before your kids get to school. You know what I mean? It starts at home. They need to be read to. They need to for you to have a conversation with them, to really talk to them. A lot of parents, we want to do the baby talk and all that good stuff, and it's cute, right? But it's not really helpful. And so the biggest obstacle that I face is trying to help parents understand just how important every single day is and everything that they do is when it comes to their child getting what they need to get so they can perform a grade level.
All right, one of the biggest obstacles that I've seen in my work is really helping young men overcome the helplessness that they feel when it comes to time sharing with their children or their particular child. I have several men who come to the office and they complain that the child's mother will not let me see the child. Now, as an attorney, what I have to say to that is, it's not about what she's going to let you do. It's about you understanding that you have a right as a father to see your child. And it's your job to, 1, establish your right. And number 2, enforce your right. So there's, I guess, a responsibility that I have as an attorney and as a man to help these young men understand that you have a responsibility yourself to go out here and establish your right. It's not about what she's going to let you do. It's about you going out here, stepping up to the plate and ensuring that your right is established in court. So it's helping our young men feel empowered, but empowered through the law.
And as we move through this evening, I want you to know This is a round table discussion. This is just not a panel discussion. So if you have a question or a comment after each panelist speaks, you can raise your hand, of course, and we can listen. I don't like to have everyone talk and then at the end say questions, because by the time you're going to lost your train of thought. But if there's something that he said, that he's got said, ask that question now, ask it now. We don't have to wait for the end. Like I said, this is a round table, or square table, or whatever this is, table. I just wanted to say something that the brother mentioned, is that that's one of the most important things that we ask any father from the beginning. Have you established your paternal rights? If you have established, it has nothing to do with what she has to say. Because we think, in our communities, we too often think that the mother has full control. And when I speak with the young women, I let them know as well. Because they believe what their auntie told them, their mama might have told them, their girlfriend might have told them, the way it is. Or girl, you got the right, you the mama. You can stop him from seeing the child whenever he wants. So we have to begin to talk about that in our communities with our young girls and our young men. Tomorrow night, right here in Callahan, we're going to have our father's rights and child support night, where we're going to have an attorney and a judge that works directly in this area, and we're going to have a child support specialist there to discuss and see who has rights and who does not have rights. And when we speak with our fathers, we let them know, if you're not married, you're going to have less rights than if you were married. That's just the way the law goes. Most of our young men are not married, so this is vitally important for them to understand what rights do they have. And the reason why we invite professionals to these, all the entire week, we're providing, I'm inviting professionals as well, because you have a lot of professionals that don't even know the rights that these young men have. You have social workers, educators, they have no idea what these young people's rights are. I still hear people talking, use terms like custodial parents. There's no such thing anymore. Not in the state of Florida. If you go to New York City, they use that terminology, but not in the state of Florida. We don't know the laws, we don't understand the laws, and if these young men know the laws, sometimes it hurts them, because I tell some guys sometimes, you need to oh God, I almost went there. You need to get on child support. You have these men 45 years old coming to my office and telling me, Ms. Aki, can you help me? I said, you read that? That's a young fathers in Central Florida, not you. You come in here and tell me you owe $35,000 child support. Bro, get out of here. Get out of here. If you want me to help you at this point, and you rolled up in here with the spinning rims, get out of here. So, I said all that to say, if someone says something, as soon as he said that, I had to jump on it. Because too many young men have not, they can't even pick up their children if their baby mama don't want them. They haven't established any kind of paternity. Some of them like that because they think they want it from child support. Just like they said, a woman find their life. He owes child support. So, I hate to say that. But they can't run from child support. They can't run. And we gotta let them know, stop trying it. It's not gonna work. Okay? So I hope you invite anyone that has a child support question, come tomorrow night. It's gonna be 2 hours of free advice, consultation to anyone that has any question on child support. And they should know that, they should know their rights, even if they're not estranged. Because I have a lot of young boys that they live with each other. They might be living over the boy's mama's house, but they still live together. They still should know. And I hate to tell you, I have a lot of guys who, there's one young Hispanic man in particular, this young boy, he's a barber. And he had those pictures, all the barbers had a picture of their kids behind him in the mirror. He had no naked women up there, he had his children. 2 children, beautiful children. Make a long story short, not his. The girl called him a punk. He wanted to kill her. And I asked him, because the children kind of, I was like, you take paternity test? I don't need that. They all say that, I don't need that. I don't need that. I know that's my child. They have to establish paternity just like I was saying. If they don't establish the paternity, they have no rights. And you don't know what the future holds. So, another question. Do you think the community supports, go ahead, Mike.
I have a question. As the panel, you said that when you guys hear something, ask the questions. So I have a question to the panel. Brian, you brought it up for
anyone. So you created a website called Ask a Dad. I wasn't aware of that, but now that I know, I'm going to ask a dad. So one of my more recent challenges with my son, who's 10, is the challenge of sex. And long and short of it, my baby mama gave me her phone and showed me Kick Messenger. It's like it's a messenger app. And I guess my son had logged her out of her Kick and logged into his. I didn't know he had a Kick. And so I scrolled through this conversation with my son and a 9-year-old girl, where he basically asked her, "You gonna let me smash or not?" You know, and other exchanges like, "I thought you were my trap queen," blah, blah, blah. The little girl, if I had a daughter, she would be it, because she stood strong. She said, "No, I'm 9 or 10. But I didn't expect to deal with a question like that so soon. And I'm on part 3 of the conversation with my son, because it's kind of uncomfortable. Because I didn't have sex until I was 19. I was terrified of my dad. I thought I was either going to have a baby or get killed by my father. So I was just scared. So I expected to talk about sex with my son, but not as early as 10. And I know based on the language, you know, trap queen, smash, stuff like that, that's what they see on TV. So I'm asking my dad.
You know, and again, this is my opinion. You know what I mean? This is how I would handle it. I'm not claiming or professing to be an expert, right? But what I kind of, with my children already, what I've noticed is their peers, like you were saying, that was their peers play a big part on who it is that they become. And so I'll just give a quick example. You know, at our home, we don't listen to opposite that you hear on the radio, right? We listen to Christian hip hop, Christian music, stuff like that. So that's what they hear at home. Well,
you mean you don't listen to the Steve Harvey morning show?
I listen to the talking portions, and I listen to some of the old school things, but I don't none of the new stuff, right? But anyway, so we're listening to that stuff, and you know, something came on. I don't know if it was through Facebook or something, but a song came on. I forgot it's the Let Me Day song or something like that. And my children, both my son and my daughter, 3 and 2, they started dancing and singing the words. And I said, wow. I said, well, you know, where'd you learn that at? School, right? And so I said that to say, like, you know, what we do at home is very important. But like you said, we have to be very cognizant of who they're around, who their influences are. If we don't like the influences that are around them, we can do a few things. We can try to go and mentor and talk to parents, you know what I mean, try and educate parents, or we can try and change the environment. And both are really hard. I found myself, literally, I was struggling with that just probably maybe less than a month ago. I pulled up to my children's school, and a dad, I assume it was a father, he was in the school, there was a little girl in the back seat, and the music that they were playing, it was all kind of cursing, it was very sexual, very explicit. It was, I mean, you know what I mean? It was like very, very mature content. And the dad was in there, I guess, dropping off the younger child. I guess the kid in the car might have been 5, you know, just speculating. But anyway, so I think to myself, I said, well, maybe, you know, maybe when he went in, maybe this song wasn't playing, maybe it was something else, right? So as I'm getting my kids out of the car and going to the school, he comes out, gets in his car, turns up the radio, and drives off. And I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, my kids are being, because their child just got out of the car, listening to all this explicit content, very sexual, and my kids are around the same environment. So what can I do? So the answer to your question is, I don't really have the answer, right? I know we can either try to work with people, mentor, or we can change the environment. But since you're already dealing with it, then I say you're doing the right thing, having those, unfortunately, those adult conversations with the 10-year-old, because you can't sugarcoat it now. Like, he knows something. So I would really suggest really just asking open-ended questions and really finding out what it is that he knows How does he know it? What does he think he knows about it? You know what I mean? Really get to the depth, and you have to take away the fear, right? You can't be afraid to ask your question. So hey, I really want to know, where did you get this from? You know, what do you think about it? Let's talk about it, and then you start to really tap into that.
I don't know if she had her hand up first.
Okay.
You can start.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Go ahead, Mark.
Mike, what I was going to say to you is two things. One, you said something that was very key. You said you were petrified of your dad. So that meant your dad was in the home with you? Well, you're not in the home, you said baby mom. So what you're going to have to do is triple fund your presence in your child's life. I do something called Let's Spill the Tea, where I encourage and teach moms how to have real hard communication with their daughters, because girls are rolling just as hard or harder than boys. And frankly, you can't get anything unless I say so. So we have to teach our girls how not to give away their life, their goods, their mind, their heart, their bodies, their souls. And what it's going to take is clear, keen, consistent communication. And I'm going to tell you something. You're going to have to take off your embarrassment because they're not. And you just have to understand they're exposed to more on television. They're certainly exposed to more on radio. Okay? And you're going to have to be the barometer for them. And you're going to have to set the standards for your child, for your children's friends. And you're just going to have to be the commando and make him afraid of you just as you were afraid of your dad. Let's start to set those old school standards.
I started in asking the questions. I didn't want to be afraid and not open up to me. So I'm trying, I'm learning this.
But if he's open like that already, he needs you to be just as open. Because he's there already.
So my philosophy with my daughter was, you had to talk when she was 10, actually. And I learned because, like you said earlier, it's not you raising your children, it's you helping to raise those around your peers. So I did what I was doing in the home, but I know that she was learning other things outside, and that sex was not something I wanted her to learn from her peers. So I started a conversation. And I started doing scientific, I ran out diagrams of the male body and the female body. We walked through the anatomy, and we had a conversation. And as she gets older, those conversations get more real. And I think in the time that we live in, you have to start having those conversations. As soon as your child starts walking and talking. I've never used pet names for body parts. They are what they are. And starting those conversations early, at 2 and 3, educating them on their bodies is part of sex education. And it's going to help you so when you get to that, their peers aren't influencing them. They're not telling them anything that you haven't already told your child. And they're getting it the right way and not the way that your son is speaking.
Don,
I was basically going to say, one of the things about once a child is exposed, you can't unexpose it. So just to echo what everybody else was saying, the best way to clear up that stuff is for it to come from you in the correct way. And I think that's really important. I remember my daughter.
You need to talk into the mic. Thank you.
She's 26 now. I remember she was 11, and someone, to this day, I wish I never did it, had given her a condom. And so she had it. And she went to her mom, and her mom said, talk to dad. So my initial thing was, who gave it to her? But then she asked me this, I said, it's a condom. What do you do with it? I said, people use that and put it on their body part and everything else. Everybody else was kind of embarrassed. I said, well, they gave it to her. So I don't need her to be confused as to what was being said or what we were trying to say. And I needed her to understand what that was. Once she understood what that was, then, there was there was an appropriate response, because I needed her to be disciplined enough to know what was going on when they were approaching me. And I still wish I could find it right now. But that's neither here nor there. The important thing is that you have to go ahead on and just clear it up. That it's not trap, it's not this, it's not that. It's a young lady. This is, it's a young lady. This is what this is, or whatever. At that point, because he's going to have more questions. And the most important thing is that once you start having that conversation, it's groundbreaking. Because what's going on is you're establishing that relationship so that he does not have a fear of coming back talking to you. And I think that's really the most important thing. If he has that fear of don't tell him, better not ask mom, better not ask daddy, then who he's going to be talking to is his peers. And you don't want to blind people.
Anyone else? Anyone want to make a comment? This is called education. And that's what all parents need to continually have. We have grandparents that want to learn about things and terms if they spend time around their, grandchildren. So parenting, you should never stop that. You should never stop educating yourself on parenting. I don't care who you are. You have children or grandchildren. Don't be afraid to educate yourself. Because with me, quality time defeats all of that. Quality time is what's going to do that. That's where those conversations are going to take place. It's that us not spending quality time and allowing other people to raise our children. And other people to put things in their head and cloud their vision. So parents need to be in parenting. That's why it's so important. Even if you're not with the baby's mother, talk to her about all of this stuff. You have to get past that. You have to get past any pay you have with the baby mama, or her got a new boyfriend, he got a new girlfriend, and discuss these things. So that the conversation, because in that quality time, those conversations happen. One thing that all our fathers have to have, if they want to be involved in our program, is a library card. Because library cards have activities that you can do with your children. They are activities your children can do, a part of groups. None of the activities cost money. And it's time for you to spend some educational time with your children. Because let me tell you something, the one thing that always turned me on with my parents, and I might have been strange, but I used to like when they used to tell me things I didn't know. And they would teach me things, and I'm like, I used to like that because I used to want to know everything. So then when they start telling me things, I'm like, damn, I got a lot to learn. I never forget the program we had with teaching the guys the history of Wakanda. Half of them boys in there I did 10 questions, they get 9 wrong all the time. Especially the history of a magnum condom. How they put a regular condom in a magnum wrapper and pumped it up with air. And they got caught. Then they had to put a big one inside. And it didn't sell because the little boys realized they ain't need no damn magnums. So just speaking of educating these kids, we have to educate our children. Because if we don't, someone else is going to do it. And they're going to mess it up every time. You ever see that commercial with the fisherman? He's fishing, telling a story with his guy with this big old fish he caught. And his friends show him, look, here with the fish he caught. They said the fisherman lied. Not all of them. But that's what they said. They got stories. They got stories. And that's funny. So in these kids educating children, they got stories. Man, let me tell you something. Man, the magnum couldn't fit me, man. They had to go get another condom. Well, that's why I couldn't wear it. Because it didn't fit. That's why I did it without it. Yeah, I couldn't fit it. I can't wear it.
So, to your story, it's funny hearing it because I actually was that 10-year-old boy. When I was 10 years old, first of all, I'm from Philly, and so it gets kind of crazy up in Philly. Kids having sex from 9, 10 years old, 11, that's kind of the norm, actually. So, I personally had sex, but I started getting interested in learning about it and whatnot. I remember I said something about my mom, talking about vagina, cocks, and things like that. And she's like, where do you learn that language from? I was like, school. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking she told her dad to talk to me about it, and first he did start cracking up, and he was like, "Do you even know what you're talking about, what the terminology is, what you would do in that situation, this, that, and the third?" And so, you know, he actually had a very candid, open, man-to-man conversation with me, kind of like such what you're doing now, but it was relaxed, but it was informative, and he still served, you know. We still understood he was the father of the boy, and so some of the things that he taught me made me wiser. And then I started to listen to my friends, and they had no idea what they were talking about, let alone what I was talking about, and it kind of gave me a sense of, you know, superiority in the sense that I'm knowledgeable now, right? And so he didn't necessarily want to instill fear, but he did want me to understand the steps and the parts of becoming a man and the responsibilities and ramifications that come with it. So, you know, some of the things like just running a simulation, you think you're ready to have a kid? Okay, I'm going to wake up at random times throughout the night. See how it goes. Right? Because having sex is cool, right? You know, the egg test, right? A baby is delicate, right? So do you think you can nurture an egg for a day? Right? I failed. I had school, I had life. So, well, life isn't going to stop when you have a kid. Right? You know, so just kind of going through that and understand that, man, this is not as cool as they made it out to be. You know, in case something else happens after the sexual occasion, kind of made me wiser. And on top of that, it built a better relationship between me and my father. You know, my mom, I kind of saw that, you know, she can't handle the truth. You know, and my father, you know, we can have real something, you know, whenever I would go see him or anything like that, when he was on business trips and we go visit him, I go hang out and say, "So what's going on in life, son?" And I'm like, you know, same old, you know, grades are good, straight A's. Like, okay, give me the real. What's really going on in life right now? You know, being able to have that one-to-one open conversation with my father, I think, was, you know, paramount in my life. And so my advice is just be candid. You know, let him know that you're his father, but understand, you know, you were his age once. You understand that he is smart. You know, children have a lot of plasticity in their minds, so they can acquire knowledge at a pretty fast rate. We tend to underestimate our kids. So, you know, kind of understand that he can be on par with you in some things, and there is a way for you to extend his knowledge in certain aspects.
One of the things that I found in my clinical practice is that not only did was there a need for education of young people, but the parents needed to get the education in terms of how to talk to young people. Not only not how to talk to, but often to correct some of the misinformation that they had in coming up. And I'll just talk from personal experience. Most of my sex education came from school, the block, and fellas. And most of it is wrong. Okay? I had to later on re-educate myself in terms of what the real deal was. And so many of us, and I don't know, maybe the younger generation with the internet gets more accurate information, but I have to say that I've had to talk with 30 and 45-year-old men and women about what their sexual equipment was really about and how it worked, you know, and how it didn't work. And so, in terms of our children, it's important that we educate ourselves first and not just wait until, quote unquote, the talk, when they reach either 9 or 10 or whatever. But we really need to start, and somebody said it over here, much younger, because I've had young couples of mine at age 5 ask me, well, what's that thing that I got and cousin Susie doesn't have? Okay? And responding to that, for me, I had to think for a minute or two, because at times we need to know how much information to give. There is such a thing as too much information, so that one of the things that I've learned to do, both in terms of dealing with relatives of mine and also in my clinical practice, is to listen very carefully to the question that the child is asking. Listen to the question that the young father may be asking and respond to that. Once you get into talking about it, if you're well equipped, you are at a comfort level. One of the things that can be most off-putting that I find is that if young people, young fathers or mothers, etc., sense your discomfort. So you got to get to a point, as I had to get to a point, and I'm telling you, it took me a little while until I was comfortable, in being able to talk about, that. Well, we got it. Again, I have to titrate to see who's in the room, but we need to be able to name names, as Sister said. We need to be able to know that not only the sex act itself, but also the consequence of it, and also that we as the older generation have some things that we can truly provide and to give, not only just the biological act, but also what it's about, and also the caring and the love. One other thing I want to say, and that is that, yes, my father was one of those folks that believed in fear. Okay? What I would say that is even more important with this generation, and that is that they learned respect, to respect us. And to do that, it means that we have to not only just talk the talk, but we really have to walk the walk.
Give the mic to Sharon. Sharon, tell us who you are, what it is you do.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sharon Wiley, and I am the music liaison for the Holy House Front Porch. And in the past, we have had programs where we work with youth. As the doctor was speaking, I was thinking about, I have a nephew. I don't have children. I have nieces and nephews, grandnieces and grandnephews. And my 4-year-old, one of my 4-year-old grandnephews asked me just 2 weeks ago. He's in the bathtub, and he asked me, "Hey, he said, Sharon, what is this?" And he's only 4, so when you said so 5, that's 2 ways, I guess that's normal. But what I was able to say to him, because I wasn't sure how to answer the question about what he was asking me, is body parts and stuff. I knew they were, but I thought, this seems like a talk with Daddy. So I said, I'll tell you Daddy will talk to you about it, But he's 4, and he was asking me, what is this? And I didn't know exactly how to handle it, and I realized that at that time. But I also thought it was an important conversation for his father to have with him as well.
Wait, I got to know how he did. What else do you do?
I'm also the assistant secretary right now for the Orange County Voters League.
What else do you do?
I work in the community. I try to help when I can. I know money was made. Does that help me? I'm just in the community working and trying to do the best I can.
What do you do when people are struggling with bills? What else do
You mean the utility assistance?
Yes.
The EE program is something that we provide services, where we provide services to seniors. People 60 and over, we help them with up to $600 2 times per year.
Now, Sharon, why would you tell us that? Why you gonna have to get on you? See, that's what I'm telling you. We gotta get on each other sometime. A lot of people should know that.
Yeah. Yes, and I do a lot of outreach. I will continue to do outreach for this forum. And because I didn't come in exactly when it started, I wasn't sure what the introductory part was. And I just came to listen, but I'm always happy to tell people what I do. I'm happy to learn from people, and always just interested in trying to serve.
All right,
Thank you.
She's not the assistant, because there's nobody to assist. She is the secretary.
Thanks. Go ahead.
And I want to piggyback off the young brother over here, what he said about the talks. I have been working with Big Youth for the last 14 years in the after-school summer camp setting. Right now we have our summer camp going on, so they're here from 7:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon. And we started as young as 5-year-olds, and we 14. And you could just imagine some of the conversations that we hear throughout the day. So if you don't think that your children are talking about these issues, they're talking about it. Okay? And I mean, you're with your children supervised for a very small little amount of the day. So in the most 24 hours, they're with somebody else. And they're talking about these issues with their peers. As young as 5. And as old as 14, they're talking about everything at that age. But if you don't think your children are talking about it, they're talking about it. And I mean, like how he said, I'm a young father. I'm a father. My daughter is only a year and a half, so it scares me to death to have some of these conversations. But I realize that one day I will have to have some of these conversations with my daughter, and sooner than later.
Stephanie. Tell us who you are.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Blackbrand, and I'm a regular over here with Young Fathers of Central Florida. I do a lot of Facebook posts and Twitter and things like that. And professionally, I do a little bit of everything. I am an artist though, so this summer is my summer to break out of my fine art. But that's pretty much what I do for Young Fathers.
Did you say you was an artist?
Yes.
Excellent.
I'm not going to get on step because we're going to get Rochelle?
Good evening. My name is Rochelle Smith, and I am the founder and president of Ames Financial Education and Consulting. The education part is probably really what I'm most passionate about, promoting financial literacy for women and for minorities. And consulting part is really helping people with their budgets, life insurance, and really anything in between. And I am a board member of Young Fathers of Central Florida.
And don't you appear regularly on one of the Channel 2?
I am the finance expert for West 2 News.
So if you guys need finance, I think everyone should have a financial coach or some professional who financing is their job. That's what they get up in the morning to the time they sleep at night. And so if you need that financial support, give Rochelle a call. I didn't give her a call yet, but I will do. And because we just need it, as I mentioned earlier on the bartering, that's how we just survive. And we can do that to this day, especially when you're in a group of people of more than 10. You need to know what they do. Seriously, because I would much rather give my money to someone in this room who came out to this event tonight when they didn't have to. You came to this event. And this event wasn't talking about, this wasn't no stripper or male review or nothing. There wasn't nothing that had to do with anything crazy. This has to do with our children, our fathers, and us making a commitment to our young men and women and challenging them. We don't challenge our children enough. We don't have high expectations because they have enough problems. Monica and I, and all of us, most of you are here talk about it a lot. Our young women need so much help with their self-esteem. When these young men, because I speak to women, young women and young men, and the men say, Miss Aki, why you getting on us? We thought you was for us. I said, boy, it ain't for you. I'm for your child. If you're not doing right, I'm going to tell you you're not doing right. This ain't have nothing to do. And the young women, they say, yeah, Miss Aki, get them. But then I say, well, you can't be meeting them on Friday, screwing them on Saturday. You know his favorite color. You don't know his shoe size. You don't know how many people in his family. You don't know what she feels about abortion. Before you decide to have sex with her without a condom, right, Chuck? You didn't answer nothing. And then when she say, I'm not getting an abortion, oh, so you trying to get my money. Boy, you don't have any money. And you know you don't have any money, but you still going to have sex with anyway. So it's not about getting on one and the other. They both need to be responsible. But you know your woman has a problem if she meeting a guy on Friday and having sex with him on Saturday or Sunday. Some of them that same night. Please, the way they dance in these clubs, no, I don't think I can handle it. Because you want to have sex, look, you got to do something, because you almost having sex there. I remember I was in New York, a girl told me, she said, that's the best you can ride. She said, she's scared the hell out of me. I got out of there. She said, that's the best you can ride. I said, what you want me to do? I can't bust through your pants. Let me stop.
Kaki, I just wanted to say one more thing. For anyone in here who works with the youth, I do have a program called Kids Who Win, and I do a 2-hour financial workshop with them. We do goal setting, we do vision boards, and they do talk about track queens and sex and shoes and all those things, because when they're creating their vision boards, I tell them to be very clear about what they want to do in life, who they want to be, how they're going to get there. And they do open up, and unfortunately, the music that the kids hear, that's not always 94.9. It's in the music, and so I'm sure your son has heard things in school. He's heard it in the music. I have a 9-year-old, and I know about the WAP and the Nene and all that. So I mean, it's there. But if there's anyone in here that has a program where you're working with youth, please see me, because we need to have those types of events at your organization.
And Monica, how do people get involved in your organization?
I have the information for you. AskMonicaMay.com. AskMonicaMay.com, or you can go to Let'sBuildATeam.com.
Right. Okay, because we have to really look into these organizations, and I'm not just here for young fathers and black male achievement, but these young women, I'm trying to tell you, and they talk to me. They talk to me all the time. Some of them get pregnant to keep these guys. They don't know anything about these guys. Some of these guys have records. They don't work. We have to work. We have to spend quality time with our children. We have to, and our young girls. That's like I said. We need to make some commitment to organizations that service these young men and women. We have to support them. We have to give them donations. And why we hold on to our money so tight when it has something to do with us giving back to our own community? If you're doing work, and I'm not just saying you're from Central Florida, you give your money to us, you give your money to anyone. But you have organizations that have been in existence for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. That means they're doing something in the community. They're doing something. So look at these organizations. If they've been around for 1 year, if you don't want to, you want to see a little bit. Disney waited 3 years before they gave us any kind of money. They said, go get 3 years of financial statement. We see how you spend your money before we decide. We see the results that you have in the community before we're going to give you any money. Most organizations think they can write grants the first year. You can't write a grant the first year. You don't even have a financial statement. No one's going to give you money without a financial statement. There's a company that just contacted me the other day. They said they want to see my audits and everything. People are not going to give you money if you're not prepared. So that's why we tell organizations that are just starting, they need to have capacity building training. And that's what we provide. So if you have an organization, you want to start a nonprofit, 501c3, you got these organizations running around the community collecting money, don't even have a tax exemption. That's illegal. That's illegal. I don't care if you're doing a car wash. There's people out there getting solicited money, don't have their documents. We have to make sure, and you got churches. I couldn't believe how many churches, because we help people get 501c3. During the Haitian earthquake, you would never imagine how many churches are operating without proper exemption. So you had churches who couldn't even get food from large companies because they didn't have exemptions. They couldn't get a lot. So a lot of these churches, I think we helped over 200 churches get their exemption. And we had to rush it. So our organizations have to have capacity. So it's not about people just don't want to give you money. It's just that you have to have the capacity. We don't form partnerships. The way I survived for all these years is partnerships. So if you gave me $1 billion a day, I couldn't handle it. We don't have the accounting system to handle it. We don't have the HR to handle it. That's why we have partners who do, who have the capacity. A legal department. We have a lot of organizations across this country that I work with that don't have capacity. I worked for 3 years with the National Fatherhood Leaders Group, and I was the Region 4 coordinator. That's 8 states that I had. North, South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia, and Florida. And the places, the organization I saw in those communities were doing such dynamic work, but they had no capacity. They didn't have a board, they didn't have a strategic plan. A nonprofit should have a strategic plan, not a business plan. That's their business plan, a strategic plan. Half of them don't even know that. And they have to have an action plan. That's one of the things me and Ruben are going to be talking about soon, is our action plan. What's the use of having a strategic plan if there's no action plan? So, one of the reasons I wanted this night is to talk with individuals who want to get involved, who want to be a part of organizations, who work with and support Black male achievement and responsible fatherhood initiatives. Question, we have about 20 minutes. Question I have for the panel is, do you think the community supports your work? You want to start?
Yeah.
Yeah. In my situation, the community does support my work. Let me break it down. Where my office is a clearance circle, and considering that's supposed to be the hood. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I live in every major city and work in just about every major city in the United States. Spent 23 years in the Army. And McLaren Circle is not the hood. It's not the ghetto, you know. But they have the same issues and same situations as they do it in Harlem, as they do it in Southeast DC. I lived there for about 20 years in front of the Army. The community looks for help and they support me in the fact that I have answers for them for wraparound services. And that's the biggest thing, or the biggest issue that our clientele needs. Wraparound services are, your son got beat up in school today by a bully. Pops is not there to talk to him. They can bring the kids by my office and I'll talk to the son or the daughter about, what to do next time, how to stay out of that situation. You see, that's just giving advice, but it's part of a wraparound situation. That's what I grew up in. I'm 65 years old. Back in the day, my father wasn't around. I could go on the corner and talk to a wine. He'd give me some advice. I'd go back home and verify with my pops before I used it, but I did have someone else to go and talk to. And so that's what I provide. Homelessness, I have resources. I know where to go and take people to get a place for a night or a couple of days, or even 30 days. We have to put compassion back into what we do, or I put compassion in what I do, because I realize the same situations that was going on in the 60s and the 70s is going on right now in 2015. The only difference is people. We've been here 2,000 years, Jesus Christ 2,000 years old, and we tell the story over and over, but if you look at it, think about it, it's still the same story. The same story 2,000 years later, but what do? We talk about reflection. I have to remember something a lot of times when I'm talking to the 15 and 16-year-olds, and I was 15 and 16 too. I was talking when I was 18. In my 23 years in the military, I had 2 families and raised 2 daughters. I taught my daughters the same thing my father taught me. When they went on the street, they knew they had the answers. They knew what to say. But the point was they were not afraid to communicate with me. It's the same thing I preach in my community. Fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, talk to your siblings, talk to your kids. Because that's the whole thing. If you don't talk, if they can't talk to you, they can't talk to anybody. And that's when they have a problem. So, community works, and my community supports me. A lot of work I do is pro bono, but that's okay. I'm in the community, they know my face. And my presence is the greatest resource I can give to my community.
How many people know someone in Kissimmee? Who knows people in Kissimmee? Okay, if you know people in Kissimmee, you got a resource right there. That's the purpose of this. And he's out there. Who has a question, Mike?
Haki, I want to, before the narrow answers or anyone on the panel, I wanted for you to, for the group, kind of redefine what you mean or when you say community, because if you ask me that question, I'm going to say no. I would say that from my experience, the relationship that I have with people, they support me, so I virtually support what I'm doing, but not necessarily act. What I'm saying is, I raise a lot more money, a lot more donations from people who don't live in the community, don't really know what the community is.
Where do you do your work?
In the jail and out of the jail.
Okay, within that, in Orange County?
Well, Orange County, yeah. When I say community, I'm thinking that's why I say, can you define community?
People in the community that you work, that service where you work. So, he just mentioned this, he didn't mention Orange County, Paramore, Pine Hills. He mentioned Kissimmee, where he works. So, where you work, do you feel your community supports you? Yeah, because people, you know, I know what you said, Mike, because you know people all over the place, you know, so people will support you from places other than the community that you live in. People support Young Falls, Central Florida, and not even in the Central Florida area. So I've got checks from people in Jacksonville and Tampa, someplace called Melbourne.
I don't know if I answered the question, but what I did notice what you said, I'm hearing a lot of stuff. And working in the school system as well as you can have a private practice, is this something that we have that we can, you know, is a resource that we're able to touch? Because I would love to have a young lady come in and talk about financial literacy in my schools and in some of the communities that I work in and things like that.
No, us.
Okay.
Young Falls, Central Florida. Capacity building, I do for free. We do for free. Michelle does financial literacy. So we have a lot of resources. Just like I said, the reason that I've survived and grown each year since 2006 is because of the partnerships I formed with other people. Because they have resources that I don't have.
And that's what I'm saying. I want to be able to not touch, but, you know, to be able to access those. Do we have like in the social service industry, you have what they call, I think it's called 411. You can get on it and you can buy stuff.
211. Yeah, we have about that. Yeah,
so
we run that as well.
Okay. So what I want, but a lot of times we're not on it. We're not on it. So if I have and I have a new client of mine. He's 13 and he has a 1-year-old child. So I mean, I already know about Central Florida. But what I'm saying is to be able to know about those resources that's really throughout the community. So I'm able to touch them and say,
No, we don't have that. Not that I know of that works in particular with us. It's just, you know, that reminds me of mentoring. It reminds me how most of your traditional mentoring programs that exist are not successful with our boys. Okay, because we're formulated. So we have these type of groups here. We don't have a 211. That's why when you signed in, they had a little place you can write down if you wanted to be a part of our network. So when you came in, I don't know if you noticed it, it says, would you want to be a part of the Responsible Fatherhood and Black Male Achievement Network? That's what we're creating. So yeah, we don't have it yet, but we're creating it.
I'm real hyped about that. People I work with is the 9th largest student, 10th largest student in the country. The people who are coming into the schools that are servicing our children, we need to have people that reflect the community, the schools that I'm in. And we don't have that. And I'm not disagreeing about those services that are coming in, but it would be lovely to have those services that are coming in more reflective of the community that is served. And a lot of times that's not happening. Right. These individuals, they have their agencies in one part. But I got communities right here on the real thing.
And you do mental health, correct? Now, how many people knew someone before tonight that does mental health counseling? Besides these, well, Chester, you look at the congresswoman office, you know what I'm saying. You and Monica really kind of don't count. but most people, the point I'm making is most people don't know. What it is you do again, sister? Prosecutor. How many of you know a prosecutor? There you go. You get my point now? That's why we're here. How many people know individuals like Mr. Joe that run? How many kids come to Rio Center in a year? He has camps. He has all types of things here. That's how many people knew what Wilbur does. How many people know anyone working in the correction besides the correction officer? There you go. Y'all kind of getting my point, right? Until we do this type of stuff, we're not going to get anywhere. Because if we have your emails, and Stephanie Crisco will be on it, we're going to have another meeting like this before Father's Week next year. And you're going to bring someone with you. Could you imagine if we continue to do that? And people here I know work. People here, I didn't just meet yesterday, Monica, Ruben, Glenn, Joe. I've been working with these people for years and years and years. Chester, years and years and years. Just me, Michelle, and a few other people. We've been working for years and years and years, so I know we're committed. So we just have to get others committed. So we commit, and like I said, donate money to what Brian's doing. Donate money to what Denaro doing. Donate money to what Rich is doing. Donate money to any organization that's working with black boys and men. We don't need to be afraid to do that. It's funny how people tell me, and I get more money from women than I do men. I remember my first book signing tour. Man, I sold about 120 copies, 118 women bought, and Ruben bought the other one. You come to our Just Gentlemen program. We have 15 seats for our first program. 15 seats at Jackson Community Center for our 9 to 13-year-old boys. It was the room in Jackson Center, not this big. I had rented to meet the parents. I walk in the room, I go back out and was mad. I said, I know I booked this room to meet these parents tonight. I know it. They said, I said, all the people in there, what they got in there? They said, Miss Hockey, those people waiting for you. It was packed. I said 15 families. It had to be 45 families in there, and they had their little boys in suits up. That little man, he coming. Little boys had their little Sunday suit on. A couple of them had suits with sneakers, and they was trying though. Those women was bringing their boys to come to this dedicated character development program. Some people say you should be happy, but it was sad in a sense. We didn't have money to do any more programs. We did that one for free then. We didn't even charge them. So we need to make those commitments. We need to make those commitments to the organization. Like I said, please, I'll send money to Atlanta, to Carl if I could. If I knew where to send it. I got an address. Good. Tell them, see, people get messed with us now. We take credit cards, right? So people be like, man, I ain't got, I ain't got no, check. I got my credit card. Okay. People can't do that now. But okay, we got about 15 minutes. I just need to know from you, what you thought about this evening. Did it do anything for you? Because the one thing I hate to do is just waste people's time. I don't think I have. But just tell me, what do you think about what we discussed tonight? Yes, sir.
Just a comment. Would it be permissible that we could get a list of the folks that are here?
Yes.
So that we can start that
yes.
and connecting. Okay.
Yes.
Great. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm done.
John, what do you think about tonight? Then I put all these things to make things, I don't know what to say. Well,
no, I have a question for John. After all these years, if you're recording.
Yeah. No. She needs the mic.
After all these years of hearing all this information, what is your take on young fatherhood? Dun-dun-dun.
I definitely think this is something very important, and I'm happy my dad is someone that's leading and addressing it. And I'm just glad all you guys come support and do your part in doing what you can to make it grow and become something that's, I don't know, pretty sad.
I'll let him
something that's
that answer tonight.
Yeah, John is not me. You asked me to type it to you.
I can't say anymore, but
yes. Woman here.
Good evening. This has really been enlightening. First of all, I do want to say, I think I met you before at a function about 5 years ago. Functions. But it's very good to see our black men coming together to do something for young black people. That's an awesome thing, first of all. But what I do want to say, it was very enlightening to me because my children are grown now. But I have grandchildren. I have a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 3-year-old. It was an eye-opener to hear what she said about your 10-year-old. Because now I have, grandbabies that's going to be coming up. And to know that they're really having these types of discussions, it lets me know how much more important it is for me to help them to understand that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, that they have purpose. And that, their organs, they were there for a purpose. And when you do things in line with how they're supposed to be done, you don't suffer the consequences that that sometimes come with those. Well, actually, it says that, talking about the sex thing, it's in the confines of marriage. And when you teach that to them from an early age, teach the young girls, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are beautiful, you have value, you give them the love that they need. So it just reiterates it to me how important it is as my grandbabies grow up to let them know. So I just want to share that with you because it opened my eyes. Didn't realize that 10 years old that they're going through these types of things, these types of discussions, but it's really real, So I just wanted to share that. So I'm glad I was here tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
You did an excellent job with this one. I don't know the other one.
I want to say something. Fine. And I know we kind of went over this a lot, but I want to say I'm from a family of 5 boys and 5 girls. And this is what I would say to you. Train up a child in the way that he or she should go. Well, how do you find out that? You have to let that individual communicate to you. That child has to tell you which direction he or she is going in. And they do that through effective communication coming from you to the child. For that child to really establish his or herself in life, they're going to have the opportunity to effectively communicate with them. Now, I don't know the position with you and the mother, but don't set the mother aside. Communicate with her and let her know that you're willing to work as the father of that child and as the other parent, because it takes both parents to make that child whole. Then, don't become bitter in any area. Just have to remain consistent and constantly the same all the time. If you do that, you're going to cry.
That's one of our new training programs is going to be with grandparents. Because we get more and more grandparents coming in and spending time with their grandchildren, and they want to know a lot of things that, because it was of course different when Ryan was raising him as it is now, and the different challenges that these grandparents are having, and they're very interested. Just like we're going to do more co-parenting, because our year goes from June to June, not January to December. So after Father's Week this week, then we start a new year. And we have several new parenting classes that Joe and I are going to be speaking about here, right in Callahan. And most of our programs will be in Callahan or Jackson or the J.R. Smith Center. Because those centers are jealous that we're always over here. They say, why are you always over in Paramore? You got to come over here. Well, I don't like to struggle where I go. I like to be welcome where I go. I don't want to go through a whole bunch of red tape all the time. So it's just like fathers. When I was in New York, I used to work with the court system. I stopped doing that because those guys didn't want to be there. The court ordered them there. So they hated to be there. I didn't like that. So when I came to Florida, I said, I want our guys to be volunteers. You want to be a good, now some of their mamas drag them in, but they staying. They not leaving. So if we try to make it challenging, because we want to challenge, when we talk about black belt achievement, my brother's keeper, that's what I wanted to talk a little about tonight, but we didn't get that there, but we will get to that. So that, because a lot of people don't know about my brother's keeper, what's the goals are, what's the objective, how can they get involved? They don't know. Why? Because Washington is still figuring out. They still figuring out what the whole My Brother's Keeper initiative, goals and objectives are, and how they want to implement it across the country. So we just had Sean Dove here a few days ago from the Open Society. He's one of the architects and leaders of the My Brother's Keeper initiative. But we just have to challenge our young men, and we have to be there for them, our young men and boys. Because when we see things that's going on in Ferguson and Baltimore, it can blow here at any time. And black men have to be men. Stop pushing your woman up in front of you. Shut up. Be a man in our communities. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about, people ask me what's the best form of birth control. I say responsible fatherhood. Once you know responsible fatherhood, you're not going to run out and get these girls pregnant. We was talking in the show the other night, Charles' show he has, and they were asking me questions about the boys' pants sagging. And what did I say, Doc? I said, give 5 boys sagging their pants in a room and have them bring their daughters in there. Those boys pull their pants up right away. They don't want to see all that ass out in front of their daughters. So you don't have to tell them to do nothing. Put them in a situation where they have to use their own mind. And if they do that, they'll come to the decision not to pull their pants and hang down their butt. Do that. See what happens with their little girls. And they'll look at those other dudes like, man, you better pull your pants up. I got my little baby girl in here. And if they bend over and try to get the girl in the pants, liable to fall on the floor. And I told them I don't spend that much time with that because we can't tell them what to do. They have to decide themselves. So, thank you for coming. I like to, excuse me.
Real quick. 2 seconds.
No, go ahead.
More than 2 seconds. Okay. I met this brother, we're talking about recognizing our resources, utilizing our resources. I met a brother named Brian Morse at one of Commissioner Hill's Urban Crime Prevention Task Force. He has a company called, I haven't talked to him about 2 months, but he has a company called Millions to One, and he labels it as the largest African American business directory. I'll give you the website. It's www.millions21.com. So as we talk about, recognizing what our resources are, we may want to reach out. And if you have business that you might want to promote, there's contact information on the website. You may want to do that. And if you have questions about different organizations that are going on in the area, you might want to check that out. So that's all.
Right.
I think this is a great forum for the reason that I'm about to talk about now. Everybody came together, and I know some people individually, so I need help. Me and Mr. Danner are looking for more mentors to come into jail if nobody's not too scared. Brian's done it, he can tell you about it. Brian also is one of the founders of the nonprofit that we work in the jail, helping our youth achieve. Second,
Brian, see.
Or he didn't tell you?
See, I'm gonna have to get on you too now. See, you family now, so
you on the better.
Yeah, you ain't gonna do me no more. I'm gonna start getting on you too. So then mentoring night we have on Wednesday. I hope you come in and talk about that as well, because that's what we're talking about Wednesday, mentoring. And what people like to hear, right, is people who've done it, who went in. See, and that's how you can help their cause. Talk to people who, hey, you actually did it. They'll listen to you before they listen to a guy who never done it before. So that's Wednesday, by the way, right here at Callahan.
And then my other ask for help is that, most people know what Gateway School is. If you know, it's a behavior school for kids who have behavior issues to kind of get them right. And then you have another school called Silver Star that's focused on kids with emotional issues, I believe. They closed Silver Star School. So you added bad companies. You have behavior and emotional in school. But long and short, next year we'll be starting a mentoring program there. So anybody who's interested in coming out to Gateway School to deal with those kids 3 to 5 hours a week, I appreciate it. And then the last thing I would say is that on Wednesday, the Holden Heights Community Center will be closing. Well, on Friday, it'll officially be closing. But on Wednesday, the new Holden Heights Community Center will be opening. It's a over 10,000 square foot facility. It's right there on OPT. The small center closed because of the I-4 expansion. But please come out, free food, you get a chance to meet people, and this is the first building that I got to plan from paper to brick and mortar, working in the county, so I'm excited. 9:30 a.m. Sister Jeff will be there, so looking forward to y'all coming out. But I do need help from mentors either in the jail or at the school, whatever you're looking for.
Okay, we here, Rich. Yeah, we definitely have to support each other events also. When we have events, we got to try to support it. If you can't go, send someone from your staff or your office or invite someone. One person. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. You also right here, right now, are part of a very prolific program. When I came into business in 2003, up in New Haven, Connecticut, a few years later, I secured Hakeem's name. In the male involvement network business, Hakeem is #1. This program is #1. Not a lot of people know about it, but across the nation and in the Caribbean, we know about this program. Please continue to support this program. If you want to build a program, this is the footprint you really need to use. I'm writing a thesis on how to build a better or a good fatherhood program. Hakeem started to mention about capacity building, and that's the key to further or make sure you have sustainability in your program. We are needed. There's more business or there's more work for everybody in. You can double this number 5 times, and there's still more work to be done in our community, and in the neighborhood, or in Florida, wherever. Because no matter where you go, you will do some type of this business one way or another. This is a dynamite plan. To be part of this, to be here tonight is amazing. To be here tonight to see all you all faces, it gives me hope that the stronger I build my program down there, the more I'll be able to pass it around and give it to somebody someplace else who can build another program. So in that, if you can take a second on the way out before you leave this evening, fill out our survey that deals with capacity building in these programs, and specifically young fathers in Central Florida, because this is the plan. Again, this is the footprint that we use. I mean, we use Cleveland, we use New England, but when we talk about the program, we talk about how key people get it.
Right, thank you. Okay, so we're going to end tomorrow night here at Callahan. We have our child support, father's rights, and family law. As I mentioned, we'll have an attorney here, a child support specialist, and a judge. Wednesday, we're going to have mentoring night here. Anyone who wants a mentor, anyone who wants to become a mentor, should come to this event. Anyone who has a mentoring program and wants to inform the community how to get involved in their mentoring programs, will be here. Thursday, we'll be at Jackson Community Center, where we'll have the literacy and education night. And then Friday, we'll be at the J.R. Smith Center for our employment and entrepreneur night. If you want to start your own business, we call it from the kitchen table to the board table, to the boardroom. All right? If you have an idea for a business, that's where a business plan you need to talk about if you want to have a business. That's the night for you. Saturday at Jackson Community Center, we have a family carnival from noon to 3 o'clock, free of charge. All events are free. And then Sunday, we have our Father's Day dinner. All right? The dinner is $75. That's our fundraising dinner. We have a silent auction, video presentation. That rounds out Father's Week. So we hope that we can see some of you at some of these events, and you can invite someone to these events. We try to cover all areas that are critical in our communities, various communities development. With that said, I want to thank you for being here. It's like 8 on the dot. Who was here to be? I said, we're going to start 6:15 and end at 8. Because I respect your time and respect the fact that you came out here tonight. Thank you for coming and get home safe. And you will be getting an email